Hey guys, Brendan here, and today we're going to talk about one of the best things you can do to reach financial independence earlier. And the answer may surprise you, but it's to begin investing today, right now. My goal on this channel is to help you reach financial independence earlier and give you the option to retire early. And I do this by updating you on current affairs around the world of finance and also give you little tips to help you increase your income and decrease your expenses. So let's get into it. I know a lot of people right now are worried about investing and are keeping a lot of cash on the sidelines because they're worried about another drop in the market. You may have heard people refer to this as a bull trap, which is where we get a dip, it comes back up, things look like they might be getting better, and then there's another dip. Or maybe they're saying the market's overvalued or something else or yada, yada, yada. Someone's always going to be there telling you that this isn't the best time to invest or that you should wait for one reason or another. But the truth is that no one really knows when is the best time to invest in the market. And no one says this better than Warren Buffett.
You're making a terrible mistake if you stay out of a game that you think is going to be very good over time because you think you can pick a better time to enter it. I know what markets are going to do over a long period of time. They're going to go up. But in terms of what's going to happen in a day or a week or a month or a year even, I've never felt that I knew it, and I've never felt it was important. I will say that in 10 or 20 or 30 years, I think stocks will be a lot higher than they are now.
Don't let the fear that this isn't the perfect time to invest paralyze you. At the very least, if you're very nervous, just start dollar cost averaging into the market. DCAing is where you systematically invest a set amount of money per period, typically monthly. And this ensures that you're never investing at the market top or the market bottom. You'll invest somewhere in the middle. Now, because the investment markets tend to increase over time, studies have shown that it's actually better to just do a lump sum investment rather than DCAing. But if the alternative is that you're paralyzed by fear of not getting at the perfect market bottom, then DCAing is your best alternative. Vanguard actually did a study on exactly this, comparing lump sum investing to DCA investing. And their study showed, on average, an immediate lump sum investment has outperformed systematic implementation strategies across global markets. This conclusion is consistent with finance theory, as immediate investment exposes each to historically upward trending markets for a greater period of time. So as Vanguard Study shows, lump sum investing has outperformed DCAing over most market scenarios. But if you're like me and are still working and adding to your investments over time, then you're naturally DCAing. I wait until my money accumulates to a certain amount and then I add that to my investments and invest it. So aside from timing the market being a bad idea, why is it so important to start investing today? And the answer is compound interest. The more time in the market, the more money you can make. But what exactly is compound interest? Compound interest is essentially your money working for you. When you invest your money, it earns money over time. And then that money earns money over time. And then that money earns money on that money over time. And it just keeps going forever. And it's like a giant snowball rolling down a big hill, just accumulating and getting bigger and bigger. In other words, if you invest $500 and it earns 10% in the first year, then you have $550. Then, if you leave that invested and it earns another 10% the second year, then you have $605. So rather than just earning $50 like the first year, you earn $55 in the second year. And that's because the additional $50 you earned in the first year also earned 10% of itself, earning you an additional $5. And this happens over and over again every year and accumulates a large mass of money. So as you can see, the sooner you start to save, the bigger effect compound interest has. And I understand that in today's market, our 20 or 30-year-old has a really tough time. They have student loan debt, there's tough times getting jobs, with the virus going on, there's all this uncertainty. But you need to do what you can to save as much money as early as you can and get it invested. You'll be happy you did. And honestly, with everything that's going on right now, you may feel like the deck is stacked against you, but you have one thing going for you that your baby boomer parents would be jealous of, and that's time. Time to invest and time to take advantage of this compound interest. The amount you save is important, but as I'm about to show you, that pales in comparison to the amount of time you have available to invest. Basically, the more time you have available to invest, the greater your investments can grow. Don't believe me? Let's look at the numbers. This chart from JP Morgan shows how one saver, Susan, who invests for only 10 years early in her career, ends up with more wealth than another saver, Bill, who saves for 30 years later in life. By starting early, Susan was able to better take advantage of compound interest. Chris, the third saver profiled, is ideal. He contributed steadily for his entire career. Each investor experienced the exact same 7% annual investment return. Susan invests $5,000 per year from age 25 to 35. She invested for 10 years and $50,000 total. Bill invests the same $5,000 but begins where Susan left off. He begins investing at age 35 and continues the annual $5,000 investment until he retires at age 65. Bill has invested for 30 years and $150,000 total. Chris is the most diligent saver. He invests $5,000 per year beginning at age 25 and continues investing until retirement at age 65. He has invested for 40 years and a total of $200,000. So as I just said, Bill invested 3 times as much as Susan, but Susan's account has a higher value at age 65. She saved for just 10 years, while Bill saved for 30 years. This is compound interest. The effect is so drastic that Bill can't even catch up if he saves for an additional 20 years. The best scenario here is Chris, who begins investing early and never stops. Note how much more he has saved at the age of 65 as compared to Susan and Bill. Compound interest favors those who start early, which is why it's so important to start now. And it's never too late to start, or too early. Now I know what some of you are thinking, but Brendan, what are you talking about? I mean, you're very handsome and your videos are great, but how can I save $5,000 a year, especially at 25 years old? And first of all, thank you very much. And second, it's not as hard as you think it is. According to the US Bureau of Labor Statistics, the median annual earnings of someone from 25 to 34 years old is $41,964 per year. At that income level, a $5,000 annual investment represents 11.9% of your annual income. And that may seem like a lot to some and not that much to others, but also this is before taking into account the tax advantages of investing this money into a retirement plan. If your employer offers a tax advantage retirement plan, like a 401k or a 403b, then your money is invested on a pre-tax basis. This means you won't pay any taxes on your retirement savings until you pull your money out in retirement, when your income is lower and hopefully your tax burden is lower also. If you want to learn more about different tax advantage retirement plans you can take advantage of, you can view my previous video here. But how does this tax advantage help you now? Well, if you're investing $5,000 per year into your company's 401k plan, you're not actually losing $5,000 from your paycheck each year. Assuming you're in the 25% tax bracket and you get paid every 2 weeks, then your take-home pay will only decrease by about $144 per paycheck. Now, $144 per paycheck isn't necessarily chump change, but if you invest that amount starting at age 25 all the way until 65 each paycheck, then you'll have over $1 million by the time you retire. Now let's look at this another way. Let's assume your parents are 30 years older than you. So when you're 25, they're age 55. Now we're still assuming that you start saving $5,000 per year starting at age 25 all the way to age 65 for retirement. And you accumulate a little over $1.1 million at the time. Now, how much would your parents have to save if they haven't saved anything before age 55, so that at age 65, they have the exact same amount as you at retirement? Now, I did the math for you, and the answer is they'd have to save $77,665 per year for that 10-year time period, so that they have the same amount as you saving $5,000 per year from age 25 to age 65. That's a 15 times increase. Again, thank you, compound interest. And because of that, time is the most important thing available to a young investor. Sure, baby boomers may be making more money than you, but if you begin investing earlier, you'll have more money saved by the time you reach retirement. The simple fact is that when you start investing is actually a lot more important than how much you invest. And that even a relatively small investment left for long enough time to accumulate and take advantage of the power of compounding can amass to a large amount. This chart by Business Insiders also emphasizes the impact of compound interest and the importance of starting early. Both Emily and Dave save $200 each month until they retire at age 65, but Emily starts at age 25 and Dave starts at age 35. In total, Emily contributes $96,000 over her career and Dave contributes $72,000. So Emily contributed 33% more, but ends up with almost twice as much wealth. For many, the goal is to become a millionaire. And while $1 million won't really buy as much today as it used to, it's still a worthwhile goal. Business Insider created another very telling chart that shows how much you would have to save monthly starting at different ages to accumulate $1 million by the time you reach age 65. This chart assumes a 6% rate of return. And as you can see, if you start at age 20, you only need to save $361 per month to reach $1 million by age 65. And then it grows for each different age group until you reach age 60, when you would have to save $14,261 per month. Now, I like to think about compound interest beyond just saving and investing. For every purchase I make, I keep compound interest in the back of my mind. As an example, let's just say that you're 25 years old. So you're a few years out of college, you have a good, well-paying job, and your income exceeds your expenses. So after working hard for a while, you decide it's worthwhile to treat yourself. So you go out and get a $1,500 Louis Vuitton purse. So that purse cost you $1,500, right? Wrong. It actually cost you $22,461.69. And here's how. The purse cost you $1,500 today, but it also cost you the opportunity cost of investing that $1,500 rather than spending it on the purse. Assuming instead you invested the $1,500 and received a 7% return over the next 40 years, at age 65, you would have $22,461.69. And you can figure this out by multiplying 1,500 times 1 plus 7%, your rate of return, to the 40th power. Now, I'm not telling you never to spend your money on anything that you desire, but it's important to know the true cost of each thing you buy. So I hope you enjoyed this video. When did you first start investing? Tell me about it in the comments below. Also, if you like this video, please hit the like button and subscribe, and also hit the little bell icon so you don't miss any future videos. Take care.